12-72.
And couple points.
And they haven't scored since the 5-minute mark, Pete.
David Parkin on the boundary there. He knows his side's going to win the premiership, and he's out there to enjoy the celebrations when the final siren goes. It must be getting pretty close. Stewart couldn't pick it up. It's finally knocked out by Bazasto out there towards McClure. He'll tap it on, but there's no one there for Carlton. It doesn't matter because the Magpies have lost this match for sure. Well, there's the siren, and Carlton have won the 1981 grand final. The final scores, 12 goals, 20-92 Carlton to Collingwood 10-12-72.
And a great victory for the Blues, completely in command in the final quarter. And there they are. Aren't they happy? 21 points behind during the third quarter. Carlton getting up to win it and restricting the Collingwood scoring in the final term to only 2 points.
Well, once again, Collingwood, the losers in a grand final. It's been 23 years since they won a grand final. Well, it's got to be 24 now. And it's certainly a disappointing grand final for their supporters. We couldn't say the players didn't try because they put up a valiant effort today, Bob. They did have a chance. They led by 9 points at three-quarter time, but the superior skill of Carlton was the telling factor. Plus, I wouldn't say they were fitter, but the moment you start to get a bit of a run on, you see players that haven't been sighted all day come to life, and that's what's happened.
Well, I think the important thing that we have to look at here is not that Carlton, not that Collingwood have lost another game. We forget that it's a magnificent effort by Collingwood to continually get there. Now, I think that they've gotten there in the last 4 or 5 years with the lesser talented sides than teams who haven't made it. And that's not to suggest that those teams would have won or lost, but Collingwood have been wonderful to make the grand final in such fashion, and it's full marks to Tommy Hafey. He's done, for mine, a magnificent job of coaching to just get them to the grand final every year.
Not about that, Bob, and of course, we saw a couple of tremendous performances. One guy on screen there, now number 3, Fitzpatrick and Ruck. He was unbeatable for the centre bounce knockouts. Final scores of the 1981 grand final. Carlton, the victors, 12 goals, 20-92 to Collingwood, 10-12-72.
Well, as we see a very, very happy and Peter Basasto there with the cap on head.
Let's go down now to Stephen Phillips, and he will talk with Ken Hunter.
Thanks, Louis. Ken, a magnificent game across the half-back line. What's it like to play in your first VFL premiership side?
Well, it's a fantastic feeling. I thought halfway through the third quarter we might have blown our chances, but to the players' credit, they came back. Collingwood put up a good show, but I think they played too many games during the finals.
It must be a wonderful feeling playing on the back flank alongside guys like Val Perovic and Bruce Dool. They were absolutely superb all afternoon.
Oh, it's fantastic. You only have to watch the way they play and you can learn a lot from them.
Well, they're about to make the presentations. Ken, I'll let you get over there and enjoy a few more moments of glory. Back to you, Louis.
Thank you very much, Stephen. And the final scores once again for those people that are viewing this show right throughout Australia and wherever you may be throughout the world. A great match, not the most scientific game of football, but certainly a grueling game and an exciting one. Collingwood led by 21 points about halfway through the third quarter, but Carlton eventually wore them down. Final scores, Carlton are premiers for 1981, 12-20-92 to Collingwood 10-12-72. Let's go down to the arena now to the president of the Victorian Football League, Dr. Alan Naylor.
Of all clubs, commiserations to the Collingwood players today. There's no doubt that their performance was a very, very good one. Congratulations to the Carlton club on winning their 13th premiership. It was a great effort by the 40 players on the ground today and to all concerned with the grand final match. It's my duty now to announce the winner of the Norm Smith Medal. The medal goes to Bruce Dool. And to make the presentation, Mr. Peter Smith.
Well done, Bruce. Well done, yeah, wonderful.
Well done. His Excellency, the Governor of Victoria and patron of the Victorian Football League, the Honourable Sir Henry Winnicky, will make the presentation of the medallions to the runners-up, the 20 Collingwood players and the coach. Please acknowledge the Collingwood players.
Collingwood players going through to receive their medals for runners-up of the 1981 Grand Final. Very disappointed players, but they shouldn't be too disappointed in one way because of their great performance this year. And
Peter Dacos in Ken Hunter's Guernsey.
yes, well, that's the general tradition of Grand Finals, swapping Guernseys with the winners, or both sides swapping Guernsey, I should say.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Governor of Victoria, the Honourable Sir Henry Winnicky.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure and an honour for me now to make the presentation of the Premiership Cup 1981 and the medallions to the members of the winning side, Carlton. Today's match, ladies and gentlemen, I think you'll all agree was a magnificent football match and a fitting climax to another great season for the Victorian Football League. Now it gives me the greatest pleasure indeed to make the presentation.
Mr. Rod Ashman. Jimmy Buckley. Phil Malin. Peter Basasto. Wayne Johnson. Mark McClure. Kenny Sheldon. Greg Wells. David Glasgow. Peter McConville. Kenny Hunter. Scott Howe. And David English. Mark McClure. David Mackay. Wayne Harms. Bruce Toole. Scott Howe. Val Perovic. Alex Marcoux. And Captain Michael Fitzpatrick and Coach David Parkin. Well done, David.
And that's the moment everybody waits for, Lewis.
That's right, Bob, and Mike Fitzpatrick should be very proud because in the two matches he's played in the finals, as a matter of fact, for the entire year, he's been a splendid captain. and of course a champion player, and he played a magnificent game today. That's what they do to the coach. Once you've won the flag, you can do as you like because the coach couldn't care a damn about it. And of course, I should imagine the government would be pretty happy that David Parkin coached Carlton to a premiership because he was an ex-Hawthorn coach and player. And the captain of the Victors going around the ground now, and
Greg Wells will be absolutely delighted at the moment, Lou, having played in a team at Melbourne that never ever made the finals, now to play in a premiership side, the wish of everybody.
I noticed when Peter Bosustow got his medal too, his first in Victorian football, he kissed the medal, and that's how you feel, and I guarantee that you think you're going to have a great time tonight when you win a premiership, but the letdown is tremendous. You just can't enjoy yourself. You're that damn tired, and you just people are talking to you and congratulating. It's going in one ear and out the other.
It's a letdown. Most people would.
Well, it's a letdown. That's right.
Yeah.
It's a letdown, and probably the next couple of days, that's when they'll let themselves go. And they were worthy winners. They've been on top of the league ladder with Collingwood for all the year, and both sides. We should say something about Collingwood. If fate had to do with it, both these teams had to play off for the grand final because they've been the most consistent teams in the league.
As we go through with Carlton doing their lap of honour, goal kickers today, Ashman kicked 3 for Carlton, Sheldon 2, McClure 2, 1 to Johnston, Buckley and Harms, whilst for Collingwood we had 2 goals by Barham, Mark Williams, and 1 to Craig Stewart, Tony Shaw, Ray Shaw, Michael Taylor, Peter Moore and Peter Dacos.
Well, if you haven't heard the final scores, because you could be confused if you just tune into our direct telecast through the 7 network throughout Australia and New Zealand, wherever you may be throughout the world, Collingwood went down to Carlton. Carlton 12 goals, 20-92 to Collingwood 10 goals, 12-72. And at three-quarter time, Collingwood led by 9 points, but the Mighty Blues eventually wore them down. Final scores of the 1981 Grand Final, Carlton 12 goals, 20-92 to Collingwood 10 goals, 12-72. And let's go down to the boundary line with Stephen Phillips, and he's talking to a very elated president of the Carlton Football Club, Mr. Ian Rice.
Thanks, Louis. Ian, have you ever felt this washed out before in your life?
Can't believe it. It must be like running a marathon. Unbelievable a feeling. You know, the whole year, the blood, sweat and tears, the grind, moulding new players into the side, new coach, and the fact that the boys just moulded together, and the tremendous mateship that emanated from every player, and of course spearheaded by some terrific champions. And wasn't it fantastic for Brucey Dool, you know, a champion of champions, to take it out.
2 years ago you took over as caretaker president at a time of great strife in the club's history. You're still here. They've got a cap on the mantelpiece, and they've equalled Collingwood's record.
Well, this is what football is all about. You know, nobody could believe the feeling, that to think all that turmoil 2 years ago, and the new administration, new financial structure, addition of 4 or 5 great recruits, each one a terrific winner, and here we are in the MCG with the flag. You know, what more can you say?
Well, thank you, Ian Rice. I'm sure there'll be plenty more to say a little later on in the evening. Back to you, Louis.
Thanks very much, Stephen. There's the Clark mobile crane shot for Channel 7, and of course not as crowded as it was. A lot of Collingwood supporters going home disappointed. And we waited 23 years, now we've got to wait 24. And those boys from Channel 7 up there on the cranes have certainly done a marvellous job. Let's go down now to Jack Edwards in the Carlton dressing rooms, and he's talking to the Victoria's coach, David Parkin.
Well, David Parkin, congratulations. Premiership coach for 1981. I know you haven't had time to collect your thoughts, but what's the immediate feeling?
I think, as normal, Jack, just a big relief. I think from a coaching point of view, particularly when you know you've got the players, and I knew that we had the best group of players, and then I thought we might take a tumble at the finish, and that would have been very sad because they did a lot of work, and we got the shortcut in, and then to have lost it after that would have been very sad. But the manner it was done, probably, Jack, was as pleasing as the end result.
Third quarter, you must have been very worried. Collingwood seemed to control most of that third quarter. You got 2 goals very late in the quarter.
I think we kicked 2 at the end of the quarter, which gave us a chance, and then we kicked the first 2 or 3 at the start of the last quarter. And I thought if we were round about, then we had enough in us. I knew we had lots of fitness and lots of running in our legs if we were close enough to do it, and we got a bit of momentum, and I think then Collingwood found it very hard. They've worked so hard, Jack, to get there, it was going to be difficult for them to find something if we actually headed them, and that was the way it worked out.
What you're saying, your 1 week spell must have stood you in good stead in the finish.
Because you've got fit players to start with, Jack. You know, there was no doubt about our running. Our capacity to run was going to be good. We kept that up, but we had players who went onto the ground not carrying injuries, eager to do the job, and a fresh approach. And I think that's more difficult when you've come the hard way as Collingwood have done.
I know you don't like to individualise, but I thought your skipper's game, Fitzpatrick and Bruce Still, they played fantastic games of football.
Yes, we really did. I know you did. But Michael, since he broke his hand bones just before the Essendon game, and few people realised that he was in a dreadful state as in his own mind. He had a hand that he couldn't put pressure on the ball, and he didn't want to let the team down from a leadership or a playing point of view. He went out that day and was best man on the ground. And I think, talk about man know thyself, I think from that moment forward, Michael has been the best leader in the competition, and he's carried it right through the finals and the important games leading up to it. And I think he, more than any other one player, showed the way for the rest. And of course, the experience of Bruce Dool in the back half, I think it was justly rewarded with the medal.
The loss of English must have been a problem at the time.
It was, because we'd shifted Harms and McConville, and that had worked for us, and then having to take Harms actually back out of the play was a bit of a disappointment. And Des has been a good player. Des English has been superb over the last few weeks, and I thought we might have trouble covering that because it took McConville out of the forward line, who was starting to show a bit too.
But the job McConville did on Renee Kink was fantastic.
Very good, yeah. Then we took a bit of a risk to change Harms and Kink, because when the game was even, we had to do something. And that worked for a short period of time, and then we were forced, because of the English business, to restructure the side.
Well, thank you very much, David. I'll let you get back to your team, and congratulations once again.
Thanks very much, mate.
Thanks very much, David.
Once again, the final scores in the 1981 Grand Final. Carlton have won this match by 20 points. Carlton 12 goals, 20-92. To Collingwood 10 goals, 12-72. Premiers for 1981. So that just about wraps it up from the MCG, which is starting to empty out now. A crowd of around about 110,000 people, I would say. So on behalf of camera crew, the boys that did such a marvellous job today, and I think you'll agree with a spectacular telecast. Our commentators, Peter Landy and Bobby Skilt, not forgetting our statistician Paul Todd, and everybody connected, our producer back there at Channel 7 and the crew he's got working there, Gordon Bennett. We'd like to say farewell to the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and we certainly hope that you stay with us again next year. So this is Lou Richards signing off on behalf of Bobby Skilt.
Thanks very much, Lou.
This has been another live presentation from 7 Sport.